Yeah, just Sveno, Mick here. Here's my TTR 250. I bought it about 6 months ago. I haven't used it yet because I'm just slowly piecing it together to get a road registered. So I'm just not rushing into it because I'll do a bit of a talk on a few bits and pieces here. So what I've had done is, when you buy something second hand, you've got to have an eagle eye. But under the front suspension on the socket on the front forks, there was been a ding in, where are we? Ding in one of the tubes on the top. So I took it down to MPE, Paul Berwick. Known Paul for about over 20 years now. He's done a lot of work for me off and on over the years, and my son when we were racing and when Damien was racing. And very, very good, very fair. Yeah, so got the front forks resealed and he tidied that all up, and it wasn't such a big issue. And actually, for fork service, because I wanted it set up nice and softly. I think it was only $150, $180 or something. New seals, oil, and just fix up that bit of a ding in the fork tube, fork leg. So what I've got to do now is the front brakes have got to come apart on this, because it's the brakes. It's twin piston brake, and I know Yamaha's, late model Yamaha's, and they've got good brakes. This thing's got awful brakes. So something's not right in there. I'd say there's corrosion in there. So I've got to do that. Back swing up. The swing arm's got to come out. Pulling that apart. I've got things apart everywhere here. I've just put a few seals in the carburetor down on the pumper side of it. That was leaking. Down in this little area here, there's a little diaphragm in here. So this thing is actually a real pig to work on. Still got to do up this boot in here. So all that's got to come off, and I wasn't worried about that until I get the rear shocker out, because I want to make sure I've got all the boot and everything done up perfect. What have I got? I've got a uni filter I've put in there. Airbox is actually fairly restricted, and it's all still standard, so I've got a bit I've got to do there. Got to pull all the rear suspension linkage apart, because to me it's creaking, and it's I think it's actually binding up, because the bike, I've backed the rear shockies, backed the preload on the spring back, and it's still tight. So I don't think, being a TTR, they're pretty what would you say? They're fairly soft in the suspension, because that's your tall bike. And for me, being a little Mr. Short Ass, probably, I'll just show you. So there's my forks down about here. So I'm going to have to get this thing set up a bit lower, because I'm not happy with that. Yeah, it's got good suspension. It's heavy in the swinging arm. It's actually a well-made bike. These are actually very underrated bikes as far as I'm concerned. Electric leg on them, so they're a good, just good bulletproof, simple bike. Just what I like. Carbureted still. Low stress motor. I don't like my little brap. So then I come around here, the big granddaddy of the two-strokes. Just look at this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece of machinery. So there again, same, I had leaking front fork legs on this. And the conventional fork legs are good, because you don't, leaking's not a big problem. So I really like conventional forks actually. I prefer them upside down for trail riding. I think this is actually front forks off a KDX 200. Now they're a cartridge fork, as I understand it, but they've got a single piston front brake on it. And I'm going to have to see if I can re-rig up a bit of a better twin piston front brake caliper on it, because the brake's not strong enough, especially to pull this big girl up, because it's just the speed these things get up is absolutely unbelievable. Actually, I'm not saying they're quicker than don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're quicker than a new 450 in a straight line. I'm not that silly, but the torque and you just keep pulling up gears and you don't even have to rev them. They're an amazing engine actually, and wait till you see the flat slide in there. That's going to look trick. And I love this bike, absolutely love it, even though I hardly ever ride it. It's going to be with me till the day I croak it. I won't sell it. I've got all the side covers and everything. They're all in the cupboard, all locked away. This thing has plusher suspension. You can see there. Been rubbing it with my nylons, but I just love them because they're so simple. They're so powerful. They sound tough. They're just a beautiful old bit of kit. I don't know with technologies the way it is these days, and the oils that they can produce, and how clean they're getting new 2-strokes to run. Because it's not saying there's anything wrong with the 4-strokes, but basically when you have something go wrong, or even just maintenance on a 4-stroke like that produces the same sort of power as this. Frank, stop it! Stop that now! You just miles down. Like I can rebuild the top end on this for about $400. Bottom end is bulletproof. Frank, stop it now! Stop it! Bottom end's bulletproof. Mate of mine, 18 seasons. He was an expert enduro rider in the 80s and the 90s. He's quick. He's still quick. Bill, we'll call him. You've seen him on. We haven't seen him on much of mine because he hates videos. Hates anything to do with thing, but he's a very quick rider. 18 seasons. His YZ 490, which is even more powerful than this thing. Frank, for that little fella. Well, sometimes he needs a toe up the arse. So yeah, these things, I just reckon they're weapons. Weapons. That back shock's got to come out and be rebuilt too. So got to go through that. These are all things I've just got them into rolling form at the moment. And this old girl, I'm just in the process of doing air boxes. Oh geez, I've got work everywhere. So anyhow, this is stuff I'm doing on my weekend. Go and start removing stuff, and where do I start first? And little Faithful's tucked away there too, little Brapster. So between all this stuff all tucked away, don't have much room to move. So I've got to sort of take it on it as I can. And I mean, these things doesn't matter because they just sit there, and if I use them once or twice a year, what's it matter? My little go-to machine, the little Brap's the thing I use most of the time. And then when I finally get this on the road, and if I like it, I'll keep it and probably sell my little Brap, or I'll just keep my little Brap and sell this, because either way that thing will be road registered, or that thing will be back road registered, and my Brap. So if I keep that, and I'm not that wrapped on this, or I really like this when I get it riding it, I'll sell the Brap. Yeah, haven't even decided yet. It's down the track, and nothing's in a hurry. There's a few dollars to spend on this yet, but I'm going to leave it at that. As time gets away, like I said, I haven't spent much time talking about this old dear today, but she's just an ongoing thing. And I'm going to leave it at that. And next time you see this big old bitch, we'll say, she's going to have a flat slide in there, and might even do the tuning on it, and video it when I'm tuning it. It's just I've got to get an area where I can actually open her up a bit, because you've got to be able to open up in top gear to see what the main jet's like, and obviously down the bottom we've got to see what that's like too. But what they tell me at Hattrick is tuning will be pretty easy on this. The flat slide, way easier than the old VM there. So actually that's only a new VM, but it goes in the box with all my other spares. But I'm going to leave it at that, because that's bloody 10 minutes of me talking about one of the real loves of my life. Old motorcycles. Motorcycles, actually, not just old motorcycles, motorcycles. I just absolutely love the things. tinkering, fiddle farting around. But just look at that. Just, oh, it's just a beautiful thing. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some high bend bars on it, because you're sinking of the seat a bit, and with high bend bars, I just like how that SP is there. High bend bars, and I can actually nearly just stand up, and I don't have to crouch or anything like on that thing. And this thing here, they're a different design, obviously being later model, but yeah, I like being able to just stand up upright without hunching over much, because I'm a little Aussie battler. I sit on a little bloke, so 5'6" to 5'7". I'd probably say these days closer to 5'6" and 5'7". But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. And also, I've really got to probably put some new friction plates in this old deer too. She has a little bit of a clutch slip. Only when it's cold, it takes up when it warms up, but it's probably got to come apart too. So yeah, it's just ongoing. But oh, anyhow, I was just going to quickly just have a look at the size of this suspension joint in here. Just have a look at it. It's massive. Grease nipples on everything. Look at that. Oh, I don't know, just I love it. I pulled my battery case out. Now she's not registered. So that's out. And that's all just sitting away, packed away, because they're worth a fortune, believe it or not. And this old girl's all wired up. Blinkers, the whole lot, everything works beautiful. I'm going to leave it at that. Stainless steel everywhere. The previous owner, Trevor, I think. Oh, geez, he's done a good job. It's a credit to his work. I've done a few things on it, but some little things, the little trick things he's done is a credit to his ability as a machinist. Look at that. That's all been let in there, nice and ground out beautifully. And oh, it's bloody gets me toey just looking at it. I don't know if many people get like that, but I do. Anyhow, I'm going to leave it at that before I really get excited. Little Sveno Mick, little Mr. Excited. I'm going to leave the video at that. That old SP there, just looking at her, she's a bit nose up in the old snout. Now that's an XLX front end on the front of that. And I've got them slid up through the fork tubes, probably sort of nearly as far as you want to go, but you can go further, but I reckon that old deer's a little bit up in the snout. I might even have to slide them a little bit further. But yeah, she's slowly coming to. Look at that big beautiful McCuney pumper on there. Oh, McCuneys everywhere. What McCuneys? But there's another McCuney. Oh God, everything's got McCuneys on it. All copies. Rightio, I'm going to leave it at that. That's 13 minutes. Sveno Mick playing with all his little toys on his day off. Sveno Mick out.